Hello, welcome back to my YouTube channel, Better Living Through Psychology. And the topic of today's short talk is being kind, isn't being nice, or the two faces of kindness. So, kindness is actually a complicated construct. It's not synonymous with simply being nice. Being nice is not always kind, and being kind is not always being nice. And I think the best way to illustrate this distinction is by discussing the two faces of kindness. Before I do so, please remember to like this episode and subscribe to this channel. It takes less than a second, costs you nothing, and it would really help me get this message out to more. So kindness has two faces. The first face of kindness is the one that's more commonly accepted. It's basically an attribute of mercy. In this case, kindness means not adding insult to injury or kicking somebody when they're down. If somebody's having a tough time, it's kind not to add difficulties with punishment, judgment, or censure to their problems. We might even try to offer some relief as appropriate, and keep in mind that this applies equally to both other people and to ourselves. It's very important to be kind to ourselves so that when we fail, when we fall short of our goals, which we inevitably do, we don't beat ourselves up, we don't criticize ourselves unduly, and we don't pile extra punishment on top of the organic pain. That's one face of kindness, to not cause harm and to ease suffering as appropriate. Face two, honesty. However, there is another face of kindness that is less commonly appreciated. This phase has more to do with loving honesty, and it does not allow other people to continue to hurt themselves unnecessarily. It is not kind to stand by while people destroy themselves. Now, obviously, this is tricky because unfortunately, if someone has a mind to do, so there's little you can do to prevent this from happening. Some folks are so deep in delusion that they will reject that help. However, my point is that you can't really think of yourself as kind if you don't at least try to intervene in unnecessary self destruction. This has nothing to do with a moral or ethical obligation for people to change their ways. That's a should based judgment on how people ought to live their lives, and who are we to dictate that for others. What I'm talking about is approaching another from a place of love and truth, and recognizing without judgment or censure that they are hurting themselves with a certain behavior. Kindness is saying that I buy and watch yourself destroy yourself cannot stand without, at least trying to bring us to real kindness. Your attention is like a coin, it has two faces. Exercising the one without the other is pathological, and we see this kind of pathological kindness playing out every day in certain cities across the country. In Paris, for example, more people died from drug overdoses in the streets than from COVID during the 2+ years of shutdowns. In that city, there is an attitude that it would be unkind to intervene in these people's lives to provide consequences, structure, and accountability because they have already suffered enough. Phase three, enabling. That is the first phase of kindness, not kicking seven while they're down without the other. This is not kind, this is enabling. Stepping over someone's unconscious body to get into your apartment building does not support individual autonomy or human rights. It is degrading for all involved, and because it's enabling, it tends to make the situation even worse over time. Let's take a more concrete example. Let's say that one of your loved ones is an alcoholic. It's not kind to say nothing while this person drinks themselves into oblivion each night. That's enabling. When a person believes that saying or doing nothing is a form of kindness, what we're really dealing with is a strategy to rationalize conflict avoidance, because unfortunately, bringing up an alcoholic's drinking can provoke a good deal of defensive reactiveness. Now, the other person is going to respond to this as he or she sees fit. That's not up to you, but on some level, kindness carries with it an imperative to at least try to extend a hand to folks when they are actively self destructive. Again, it is not kind to sit back and watch that happen. That's a dangerous rationalization. Real kindness requires loving honesty, which almost always consists of acknowledging that people are not purely victims of circumstance and are at least somewhat complicit in their suffering. And this is actually empowering, because if they are at least somewhat complicit in their suffering, then they can actually do something to change their circumstances, which wouldn't be possible if they were merely only victims. What do you think? Does kindness require accountability? Let me know in the comments below, and thank you for listening.